I don't care. You're lame. And them is lame too.
The feud between Cardi B and Offset erupted into full-blown chaos after Offset appeared on the Joe Budden podcast and arrogantly claimed that none of his exes went up, a statement that fans immediately recognized as disrespectful and delusional. This comment came despite a well-documented history of infidelity, including cheating scandals barely months after their marriage in 2017 and public attempts at reconciliation, like crashing Cardi's Rolling Loud set in 2018 with a giant rose sign pleading for forgiveness. The audacity of belittling Cardi, a multi-platinum, Grammy-winning artist who had just performed at the Super Bowl, sparked outrage. Cardi responded explosively on Instagram Live, unleashing nearly a decade's worth of compounded pain, betrayal, and fury. She didn't hold back, delivering her truth loud and unfiltered to millions of fans, reminding everyone that when she's hurt, she doesn't whisper, she goes full nuclear. This incident, tied to recent Super Bowl drama and Offset's ongoing audacious behavior, quickly became a cultural earthquake across social media, gossip forums, and group chats nationwide, cementing Cardi's reputation as someone who fights back fiercely when disrespected and refuses to let history or public perception ignore the truth of her experiences.
I ain't never met none that I left went up, so I don't know how to experience.
That Joe Budden podcast clip perfectly encapsulates the turbulent history between Cardi B and Offset. Cardi always knew the pattern. Every time Offset touched down in Atlanta, there were women waiting, and the constant knowing aided her from the inside. She blocked him, kept her distance, and deployed silence as self-preservation, not indifference, trying to survive the marriage through pregnancies, public scandals, and repeated betrayals. Despite filing for divorce in 2020 and enduring the 2023 Instagram accusations he made against her, she took him back each time, swallowing humiliation while protecting her own sanity. But when Offset publicly claimed on the podcast that none of his exes went up, dismissing Cardi's accomplishments as if she were insignificant, it triggered a volcanic response. She went live on Instagram and delivered the perfect Brinks-level dismissal. I don't care. You're lame. And them is lames too. In Cardi's world, calling a man lame strips away every ounce of bravado, flex, or toughness. It says, "You are beneath me, and none of your past conquests matter." But her response wasn't just anger. It was years of grief surfacing, from Offset's early 2017 scandals and alleged affairs with Selena Powell, to claims that he abandoned Cardi during the birth of their first child, Culture. That line, that live moment, wasn't just a clapback, it was the eruption of nearly a decade of pain, betrayal, and disappointment finally given voice, raw and unfiltered, for the world to witness. Cardi's fury reminded everyone why she doesn't whisper when hurt. She confronts it head-on, making her point with clarity, power, and undeniable authenticity.
I blocked you, even though I know you was gonna go to Atlanta, and I was like, I didn't want to know what you was doing out there. I told you I blocked.
I regret you. 3 words that carry the weight of an entire marriage collapsing in public view, the echoes of every second chance given and thrown away. I'm too good for you. I've always been too good for you. Cardi B said it, and the streets agreed unanimously. She was the woman who filed for divorce in July 2024, citing irreconcilable differences, whose daughter Blossom was born in September of that year, while the marriage was already crumbling. She endured Offset's public accusations, comments on her lives, claims that she had been intimate with someone while pregnant. Cardi responded with her legendary clapback, proving she had earned the right to declare she was too good. The numbers don't lie. The accolades don't lie. Her career trajectory doesn't lie. Offset's podcast shade? It wasn't just wrong, it was embarrassingly, provably, historically wrong. And that was only part 1. Because what came next turned personal drama into absolute spectacle. The Super Bowl, a woman named Pre, Stefon Diggs, and one of the most ironic twists in modern celebrity history. By February 2026, Cardi had done what everyone, from trolls to Reddit relationship experts, said she couldn't. She moved on, left Offset behind, and didn't look back. She started a new chapter with Diggs, confirmed publicly at a Knicks game in mid-2025, announced her pregnancy by September, and welcomed a baby boy in November, names still undisclosed. The media called it an upgrade. X buzzed with, "Cardi upgraded from rapper drama to NFL money." That's a power move. She radiated peace in every paparazzi shot, exuded confidence in interviews, and was about to perform at the Super Bowl alongside Bad Bunny. Life, it seemed, had finally turned a corner toward stability. Then came the universe's cruel twist. Super Bowl 60, February 8th to 9th, 2026. The New England Patriots lost 29-13. Diggs' team was blown out. And the story was only beginning to get unhinged.
I don't care, you're lame. And them is lame too.
Cardi performs at halftime, but leaves the stadium early, a move that immediately set off alarm bells across every gossip blog and fan forum on the internet. And then, the digital world didn't just buzz, it detonated. Because in the friends and family section of that stadium, wearing a Wags jacket, standing on the secure field with credentials only granted through personal invitation from a player, was a woman named Pri. Pri wasn't just any woman off the street. She was Offset's alleged former mistress. Let that sink in. The man Cardi left because he couldn't stop cheating had continued entertaining other women behind her back. One of the very women who played a role in the destruction of her marriage was now sitting in the building at the Super Bowl, in the family section, invited by Cardi's brand new man, Stefon Diggs. Hollywood would reject this script as too unrealistic. Fans immediately questioned Diggs' awareness. Did he know Pri's connection to Offset? Did he understand the history, the trauma she represented for Cardi? Did he invite her fully aware of the potential pain? If the answer to any of those questions is yes, what happened wasn't just infidelity, it was psychological warfare executed on a national stage. Within hours of the final whistle, Tasha K leaked alleged receipts linking Diggs and Pri. The timing couldn't have been worse. Rumors had been circulating that Diggs was planning to propose to Cardi. Instead of a ring, she got one of the cruelest nights of her life. To add insult to injury, Diggs was also accused of involvement with his ex, Sky Marlene, compounding the betrayal into something almost cartoonishly cruel. Cardi and Diggs unfollowed each other on Instagram that same night, the modern-day equivalent of changing the locks. The internet collectively lost its mind. X exploded with reactions. Reddit threads debated whether this was karma, a deliberate setup, or some orchestrated cosmic irony. Cardi had left a cheater, found a new man.
None of them. But you. I regret you. I'm too good for you. I've always been too good for you.
And then got betrayed by that man with her old cheater's woman. Meanwhile, Offset stayed eerily silent. No posts, no stories, no comment. But insiders whispered that he might have been orchestrating strategic leaks to maximize Cardi's public embarrassment. His January podcast shade, seemingly casual at the time, now looked like a calculated grenade timed to explode during the Super Bowl. Offset fundamentally miscalculated one thing: Cardi B does not fold. She does not retreat into silence or nurse wounds privately while the world laughs. Instead, she went on Instagram Live, her digital war zone raw, honest, dangerous. She exposed the manipulation, calling out patterns of men exploiting her vulnerability. "Yo, they like to play games with me when I'm at my lowest, when I'm questioning myself," she said. This wasn't a performance. It was truth. Offset had attacked her during pregnancy, postpartum, and at her lowest points, waiting for cracks in her armor. But Cardi's confidence, her platform, her voice, and her resilience are unbreakable. Then came the threats. According to Selena Powell, Offset allegedly made direct, explicit violent threats against Diggs in a FaceTime video, threatening to shoot him in the knee, strip him, and rob him. That wasn't shade. That wasn't subtle. That was criminal. X erupted. Fans were horrified. This wasn't just celebrity drama, it was potentially jail time territory, and the stakes had escalated far beyond social media beef. Posts racked up over 9K likes calling Offset unhinged and dangerously obsessed. Reddit threads declared in unison, "This is turning criminal." Offset secrets are spilling everywhere and somebody needs to intervene. Yet, as of this recording, no lawsuits or restraining orders had been publicly filed. Insiders continued to whisper that Offset's behavior could easily lead to serious legal consequences if Diggs or his team decided to act. The Powell leaks didn't stop there. During those same FaceTime conversations, Offset allegedly revealed that he had abandoned Cardi during the birth of their daughter, Culture, a shocking revelation that added another layer of cruelty to his podcast bravado. The man who wasn't even present during one of the most significant moments of his wife's life now wanted to paint himself as the victim. The audacity was staggering. Then came the paternity chaos. In November 2025, Offset deleted an Instagram post in which he publicly claimed that Cardi's new baby with Stefon Diggs was actually his. He tried to claim another man's child on social media. Cardi called it harassment, and rightly so. The claim was baseless, but the intent was clear: destabilize her new family, cast doubt on Diggs' role as a father, and keep himself at the center of the narrative at any cost. Powell also leaked that Diggs couldn't sign the birth certificate because Cardi was still legally married to Offset, a hidden legal complication stemming from their unfinished divorce. Through all this chaos, violent threats, paternity stunts, strategic leaks, Cardi responded publicly, devastatingly, calling out Offset for years of manipulation and emotional abuse. She exposed his deliberate attempts to provoke her even after she had moved on. By February 2026, Cardi's message was clear: she was done letting men define her worth. $500,000 strapped to her wrist in self-care, she was focused on her children, her music, and her money. No matter the rumors, the leaks, or